Well, a good Tuesday morning to you, folks. A little blow through last night, and we're going to go over to Premier Cooperative this morning. And with this from Premier Cooperative, looking at the overnight markets, Doug Kropp. Good morning to you, Premier Doug.
Yeah, good morning, Gail.
Well, Doug, quite a storm that rolled through, and I found it interesting, and you even mentioned it in your overnight comments, was that the National Weather Service called it, quote, Derecho. And boy, that was just about right. This windstorm did some really major damage across the mid-belt.
Yeah, it was pretty widespread. It started up in South Dakota and over into Nebraska and went all the way across Iowa, and then, of course, into Illinois. We saw it yesterday late afternoon, early evening, and then on into Indiana and Michigan. So it was a big storm, pretty impressive. Lots of damage. Probably Iowa got the worst. At least that's what on the social media side, as far as pictures of damaged crops and grain bins at some commercial elevators and farms destroyed. Pretty big news with it hit you locally, obviously. So, but the rains that came along with it, probably offset some of the dry areas some. So, as far as the crop effect, it definitely took some out, but maybe not as big of an effect as you would think.
I found it interesting that about the time that the crop progress report and the condition report came out from the USDA was about the time that Nebraska and Iowa and parts of Michigan and South Dakota was getting hammered by that 100-mile-an-hour winds. But the crop conditions report did increase a little bit on corn. Illinois corn went up a little bit, but unfortunately, Iowa and Ohio, two pretty good-sized corn-producing states, the good to excellent category actually went down, Doug.
Yeah, so I think some of those guys who are getting the storms and they're looking at their fields are probably thinking, well, my corn crop's not rated that well. But yes, the conditions definitely were something to look at, and we talked about conditions maybe staying steady to improving a little bit, and corn conditions were off 1% to 71%, and on the beans it actually improved a little bit. So really good soybean rating for the U.S. at 74%. But yes, exactly. We've been talking about the dry weather in Iowa and Ohio and a few other spots, and that's starting to show up in their crop ratings with a decline, a pretty decent decline in their ratings with the corn, and I think it's affected the dry weather.
Well, and that is also reflected in the overnight markets. It appears corn and wheat just a little bit better, beans coming off a little bit, and maybe a little bit of profit taking in the beans moving forward, and the crop conditions, as you said, was a little bit better on the soybean side. So we are seeing mixed markets through the overnight. And Doug, let's just go ahead and take a look at those numbers as it continues to trade electronically. Doug Kropp from Premier Cooperative. Doug?
Okay. September corn is up 2 3/4 at 313 1/4. December corn is up 2 1/2 at 325 1/2. March 21 corn's up 2 cents at 336 3/4. And the soybeans were slightly lower on the November, down 3/4 of 1 cent at 872 1/2. January beans are down a penny at 878 1/4. In the wheat, September wheat's up 4 at 495, and December wheat's up 4 1/4 at 504 even.
Now, Doug, if you just put $1 in front of all those numbers, that would just be increase them $1. That would just be great with me. So I'll allow you to start working on that.
I will do that. Maybe I can work on the local basis a little bit.
That would help too. Folks, with us each morning, Doug Kropp from Premier Cooperative. We appreciate the partnership, as you would, with Premier Cooperative. You can reach Doug through the corporate trade day hours at 217-355-3369. That's 355-3369. Or you can always go to their website, premiercooperative.net. Thank you, Premier Doug. Have a Premier Tuesday.
Thank you, and you do the same.